The gang war that grabbed a hold of Augusta, Georgia might be the deadliest hip-hop beef in state history. This is a tragic case that hits close to coming from a relatively small, tight-knit community. The good old friends-turned-enemies plot is one that Augusta is unfortunately on close terms with. It's funny just how quickly two up-and-coming rappers went from family to sworn nemesis, but that's just the harsh reality that we live in. To make matters worse for the whole community, a young and innocent life was snatched as a result of rap beef that involved more than 100 people in total. When you're involved in a situation where a child winds up dead, it cannot be good for anyone who's even remotely involved. One of the two rappers who was involved in this terrible beef that ended up tearing the whole town apart is a guy who goes by the name of Rock Kent. Kenneth Williams, aka Rock Kent, is a rapper who's got that keen eye for the little things. Growing up in Augusta, Georgia, he soaked up music videos like a sponge, and that cinematic approach to rap has stuck with him ever since. His latest album, Free Me, is a masterpiece that's all about those arresting sensory images. Many find Rock Kent to be a true stylist, and there aren't a lot of artists out there who can match his vision. Music came into Rock Kent's life at just the right time. It became a positive outlet for him in the midst of a tough environment. Even from the early days, it was clear that he had a gift for channeling the pain and struggles around him into vibrant and original songs. The very first roadblock that he hit was back in 2021 when he had a stint behind bars, but he came out of that situation in good fashion, not letting time behind bars influence his music. For more than a minute, Rock Kent was making big moves. It became part of the Internet Money Collective, led by Taz Taylor. He was also rocking with Jets and Maids' Boy Meets Space Crew. With Free Me, he announced his triumphant return. The album is a wild journey through those diverse interests, from the raw emotions of Baby Choppa to the dreamy collab of Sofago on Beautiful. Rock Kent showed off his adaptability and lyrical prowess.
Wait, Daddy. No. See, Mama, you said you were coming.
Since his release, he's been grinding non-stop in the studio. His goal was to create songs that resonate with the masses while still staying true to his own story. When you listen to the tracks, you understand why they're meant for the big screens. Rock Kent was taking his artistry to new heights. The reason why this will no longer be his goal, or rather, why it cannot be his goal, is because the same Rock Kent that made music for the masses and moved so many souls with his music caught a murder charge for something that took place in April of 2023. According to the Augusta Press, Rock Kent was apprehended by the Richmond County Sheriff's Office on June 7th. The police reports confirmed the charges, and it ain't looking good for Rock Kent. Rock Kent is being linked to a double shooting that went down in his hometown of Augusta. On April 26 around 6 p.m., Rock Kent and his sidekick Vincent Moultrie allegedly rolled up on Kobe Burns and Usana Unessa while they were cruising in a car on St. Andrews Drive. Today we're getting more information. Shots were fired, and it wasn't Britain. Unessa, who also did rap himself and went by the moniker of Trap Money SXO, sadly lost his life, while Burns got injured. Rock Kent was already locked up for another charge when they hit him with the murder and aggravated assault charges. As mentioned before, he already had a rap sheet with previous convictions for possession of a firearm during a felony, burglary, and receiving stolen property. Fortunately, Unessa was not the only victim of senseless violence in the town. The story goes way deeper. To get the full scope of the problems in Augusta, we gotta go back a few months and talk about another rapper, Rock Live Zoe. The reason why Hussein was targeted by Rock Kent was due to his connection to Rock Live Zoe. Zoe and Hussein were homies, and they represented the same clique. Zion Walker, aka Rock Live Zoe, is yet another hip-hop figure associated with Augusta. He's behind bars at the moment, but the reason why he ended up being locked up is because of a rap beef. This guy's no stranger to the music scene. He dropped a track called 3 Million last year, and it racked up over 250,000 views. But it seems like his encounters with the law ain't exactly smooth. Rock Live Zoe sent out a couple of diss tracks that was enough to start some serious trouble. Things got real heated in 2022. According to authorities, Rock Live Zoe got locked up in March of 2023. Why? Apparently, he's the prime suspect in a shooting that went down in July of 2022. Zoe was involved in a tragic incident. 3 cars got messed up and bullets were flying through her house with 8 people inside. It was a truly chaotic scene. This all happened on Fairwood Drive in Augusta, Georgia around the 1700 block. The victim of this shooting was an innocent girl who did nothing but play on the porch where she would be most of the time. That young girl was called Arbery Anthony. Joe Arbery was struck by gunfire while playing outside during a drive-by shooting incident that took place in an apartment complex nearby. The investigation revealed that the suspects involved in the incident were last seen fleeing the scene in a red and orange Jeep Compass with distinctive large black stripes on the hood. Initially 4 individuals, including 1 female, were apprehended in connection with the the incident. However, after a thorough 3-month investigation, law enforcement authorities made over 100 arrests linked to the notorious gang known as Low Gang, also referred to as Shirley Ave. Surprisingly, no opposition members were arrested during this operation, primarily due to the expansive reach of Shirley Avenue, which spans across numerous neighborhoods. But as a result of all the violence taking place in Georgia, Operation Grace was introduced by the FBI, and the gangs that went after each other got swept pretty hard. The collaboration between the FBI's Safe Streets Task Force and the Richmond County Sheriff's Office yielded significant results in Operation Grace, a targeted 3-month operation aimed at combating violent crime and street gangs in the Augusta area. The operation's primary objective was to disrupt and dismantle dangerous drug and gang organizations, while also targeting those who provided support and assistance to these criminal enterprises. Although proactive measures, including numerous traffic stops and other investigative tactics, law enforcement officials successfully made 119 felony arrests, with approximately 35 individuals being considered for potential federal prosecution. Sheriff Richard Browntree emphasized his commitment to reducing gun and gang violence, emphasizing the importance of partnership between federal, state, and local agencies.
If you are carrying or using illegal firearms in Richmond County, you should go to prison. If you're a chronic predatory offender, you should stay in prison. If you're a so-called gangbanger or wannabe gangster, we're going to put you in prison.
The tangible results achieved during Operation Grace are a testament to the collective efforts made. Equally impressive was the extensive engagement with law-abiding citizens in the affected areas, ensuring their voices are heard loud and clear. The FBI's Safe Streets Task Force, along with its law enforcement partners, will continue working tirelessly to disrupt violent gang operations, removing illegal weapons and drugs from circulation, ultimately making Richmond County a safer place for all residents, said Kerry Farley, special agent in charge of FBI Atlanta. As a result of the operation, law enforcement authorities successfully seized 176 firearms from suspected criminals and confiscated a significant amount of illegal drugs, including over half a pound of fentanyl, various pills like oxy, hydrocodone, MDMA, cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and a substantial quantity of marijuana. Additionally, $214,763 in cash, believed to be connected to illicit activities, was seized. The Augusta native District Attorney Jared Williams of the Augusta Judicial Circuit emphasized the importance of reaching out to youth before gangs can influence it. Operation Grace represents a significant step forward, showcasing remarkable agency coordination and community engagement. He added, U.S. Attorney David H. Estes of the Southern District of Georgia highlighted the success of collaborative law enforcement efforts in combating violent crime, particularly the necessity of removing firearms from individuals who pose a threat to community safety and security. The gang war that we saw unravel in Augusta sheds light on the devastating consequences of gang violence in our community. Through the lens of this tragic incident, we have witnessed the destructive power of rivalries and the innocent lives caught in the crossfire. The loss of Arbery serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need to address the root causes of these conflicts and work towards lasting solutions. The loss of Trap Money SXO and the fact that Rock Ken is going to end up behind bars for a very long time. This goes to show how musical talent could be wasted over petty gang politics that could have been avoided if only people knew how to set their differences aside and live life together peacefully.